Hi everyone. So the career profile that I decided to study was foster care caseworkers. This is something that's interested me. I haven't decided that this is the path I'm going to take, but um, it was really good to be able to study up on it. So the working environment of a caseworker depends on the organization that you're with. Some organizations are large and some are small, and that largely depends on where you live. State to state, some states have a higher population, and like Idaho probably doesn't have very big organizations. So there are a lot of responsibilities of a caseworker. One of them is that when a child is placed in a home, they're required to make regular visits to those homes to make sure that the child is being well taken care of and that the environment is safe. The workers also need to make sure that they're available just in case they need to make medical appointments for the children that are placed in homes. Make sure that they're available when emergencies come up. Usually you're working regular full-time hours, but a caseworker generally takes cases home and studies them, and so it's kind of like working overtime. So you need to have very flexible hours, and you also need to anticipate that you will be bringing work home. Usually a caseworker works in safe environments, but there are situations where the environment may not be that safe. I've heard of people bringing police escorts to homes that they're visiting because they know that it may not be a necessarily safe environment, and also sometimes people get angry at the care system and they can take it out on the worker, and so it's always better to be safe. There are a few common job tasks that a caseworker has, and one of them is to investigate claims of abuse and neglect. It's very common for a foster child to go into a home and claim abuse, and although sometimes it isn't true, a lot of the times it is, and so it's the caseworker's responsibility to make sure that it is investigated and investigated thoroughly. A foster care worker may have to assist in court cases and adoption processes. A lot of children are adopted through the foster care system, and so if you have a case of a child that's being adopted, you'll probably have to assist in that case. You will have to study prospective foster care parents, and studying them can be really hard, but you just have to do it to the best of your ability. There are a lot of emotional loads that come with being a caseworker. Some of them are you'll have to separate your emotions from work and from home, which is one thing that a lot of people find very difficult. There are a lot of highly emotional situations that you'll be faced with as a foster care caseworker, and a lot of foster care caseworkers deal with something called compassion fatigue, where they have a lot of emotion and stress and compassion for these children, and they have a hard time leaving that at work, and so they take it home with them, and they become very fatigued emotionally. And that's something that a caseworker will have to figure out personally how they can cope with that. A caseworker may also deal with the emotion of helping children when they age out of the system, which is when a child becomes too old to be in the foster care system and they are faced with things like homelessness and being without work, and the caseworker just has to work to the best of their ability to help that child out. And besides that, I mean, the work environment is pretty normal for anybody working in human services. You can receive retirement benefits, and it also depends on the organization that you're working for, the different benefits that you can get. You generally need a bachelor's degree, unless you want to go into counseling, which for this career profile, we're just focusing on the bachelor's degree. And you also have to go through state licensure and certification requirements. The starting salary is around $30,000 and it can be higher. It just depends on where you're working. The experience salary is generally above $40,000. And I believe that is all the information I have for you.